Hey guys, welcome to this UX audit for Patagonia. So today we're focusing on one of Patagonia's product pages, but first I'm just going to introduce myself. I'm Andy Thorne, I'm a UX and CRO lead at Factory Pattern, and I'm obsessed with making things as easy as possible. Right, let's just jump into it. So first of all, what's a UX audit? Just for those who haven't watched these before. So a UX audit reveals insights that help enhance user experience. So we use a UX scoring system that we've developed, and it's focused on three key usability principles, and they're value, friction, and distraction. So when we're looking at value, are we communicating value to the user, and can we increase user motivation? When we're looking at friction, we find things that are maybe causing some hesitations, what makes the process difficult, and then we also look at distraction, what's not helping the user take action, and what do we need to help them to focus on. So let's just jump into the audit. So firstly, for those of you who don't know who Patagonia are, they're a international brand, and they make a lot of clothing and gear for outdoors, and they've got a really strong focus on sustainability. They're really environmentally friendly, and they're an all-round great brand, one of my favorites. And so doing this audit is an absolute pleasure because there's such a good brand to help. So we've run this audit, like I said, on one of their key product pages, and this is for a men's micro puff hoodie. So first of all, let's just go through top points. So actually, let's go through page speed and score. So the page speed is 1.4 seconds, which is under 3 seconds. So that's a green, happy with that. And they scored a 98 out of 100 on Google Page Insights. So really fast page speed, which is a great start in terms of user experience. And now I'm going to just go through the comments step by step. If you want to download this, there's a link available in the description for this video, and there's also a video on how to do UX audits. So let's get into it. First of all though, a confusing drop down. So this area here, usually used for kind of promotional messaging and free delivery on orders over 90 quid, is a great message. But when you actually drop down this here, so when you click that little arrow, there's a bit of a confusing message. So this is about free delivery, yet on opening the content, it features some content about their relationship with nature, which is really important, but then free delivery comes after it. So if I'm clicking on this expecting to see free delivery, and then I see something about nature, that adds a bit of friction, so that makes it difficult to understand what the free delivery means and what the terms of that. So definitely something that needs fixing there, and that's quite an easy content fix to make. And then hidden search. So even though we've got this little icon, search icon is great to see, is best practice usually on e-commerce, especially when there's a lot of products to search for, just to have that search box open by default, because it just requires less clicks. So if it's open by default, I've just got to click into that search box and I can start searching actually like this on mobile. So hiding that with this little icon isn't great because I just can't get straight into search, and it just slows me down. You can see there's a high quality visual, and actually all 11 visuals are really high quality, and I get a good idea of the fabric and kind of how it might feel. I can imagine how it might feel, and I can see that it's really high quality in terms of the definition's good and all that stuff. So this, I think, is a really important one, and something I've not seen before is that they've got product labeling. So if I click each one of these colors, that product label changes, and it's really helpful, especially so for two things. I think for accessibility, so if for people who can't see too well, that this just really helps them to be able to understand what the color is. So for people who are colorblind as well, it's great. And also it just confirms what that means. So vessel blue is that blue. Imagine they got a kind of a bluey green there, then that could be called something like, I don't know, leaf blue or something like that, and this just really helps to add clarity. So this is a great thing to see, and something I'd love to see on other e-commerce sites. Gallery navigations, so people focus on product galleries a lot, so it's really good to have multiple images because people want to get an idea of this product, the scale, the materials, etc. 1 to 11 basically means all of the images they've got, which manages my expectation, but I'm not sure that it's super clear there are other images. So what I'd recommend here is that they have thumbnails of the images. You could have kind of, I don't know, if you're short on space, maybe 2 to 3 thumbnails with a plus, or you could just move this down and you could have thumbnails across the bottom, so you've just got easily clickable areas or thumbnails to get to those areas and just see the rest of the image gallery. Also, it manages my expectation. So if I'm after a specific shot, such as a zoomed in view or a lifestyle shot, then I can choose the image I want to, rather than skipping through all the images. The controls are there, which is good. So I've got this left and right control, but I'd really like to see thumbnails there. That would really help. In terms of navigation, there's some clear navigation here. So breadcrumb trails, that actually says men's is underneath that tick. Men's and new arrivals. This is great for people who have arrived on this page, maybe from a Google ad or some sort of advertisement, or maybe they've come from Google organic traffic, whatever. They've landed on this page and this breadcrumb trail just tells them where they are. It means that they can easily go back to those other categories if they want to. So they can go into men's, they can go into new arrivals, but it just makes it clear where you are within this entire experience, which is great. Instant trust boost from these reviews. So I can see this got a 5-star review and it's had 154 reviews. That's great because it gives me context. So if that was just 5 stars, but I didn't know how many people left a review, I might not believe it as much. Let's take a look at effortless sizing for confident shopping. So this is great. You've got what's my size. So when you click this just helps you to understand which size you should go for, helps you choose. Or you've got the option of a traditional size guide. So having both of those options is great to see. One is super, super helpful, or one's more traditional for people that just want to see the classic table with the sizing. So that just makes understanding sizing really easy. Waitlist instead of no stock. I think this is great. And again, I've never seen this before. So well done, Patagonia. So rather than saying no stock or unavailable, upon clicking one of these size variations, I can already see under extra small that it says waitlist. That does mean that there's no stock, but instead of saying no stock and putting people off choosing that, what they've said is waitlist. So you click that, add it to bag, you know you're going to get it, but you just might have to wait a bit longer than usual. So that's so important, just to flip that language and just allow people just to put it on back order, because some people, they don't mind waiting. And so adding that functionality or that language to change that and functionality is such a great idea. Product pricing is okay up here, but it's better if it's near the sort of add to basket, add to bag button. So placing it there just means that I've kind of checked all this gallery out. I go down to add to bag, and then I've kind of got to make effort and look up there. Doesn't seem like a lot of effort, but it just makes it super quick if I see that price next to that add to bag button. Okay, so then we get down to the description. So this is full of benefits. It's got all sorts of registered trademarks for the types of materials they use, etc., etc., etc. All of that combined, even just scanning it, just lets me know that there's so much high quality features and benefits and all sorts of good stuff in there. One thing you could do is break that stuff up a bit. It's a bit chunked together, maybe every third line. It's good to have a bit of space and put this in a bulleted list, but regardless of that, it's full of really good information that will convince people to buy, and it's by that add to bag button. So it just one look at down there and then you go, yeah, that's enough to make me help my decision to buy this thing. And so these little logos here, fair trade certified, 1% for the planet, the sort of things I'd expect from a sustainable brand, but it's really, really good to see that, especially under materials. It just gives me a really quick signal that actually that's ticked all the boxes. And then once we get further down the page and get into reviews, so if I'm still not sure and I click that and I get down to reviews, I want to get a bit more context on the reviews. And rather than just list the reviews, which most people do, what these guys have done is something quite spectacular. So you've got 4.8 out of 5 stars, that's great, 154 reviews, brilliant. Then you get into size and fit, so you get actually more context about the product. So what I really love is that most people have reviewed this true to size. That sort of thing will be enough to make someone buy it. And then you go down even more and it gives you some more context. So when we think about value and actually the things that are going to motivate me to buy this, I'm thinking about kind of what I want it to use for. So you've got casual wear, hiking, work, and so they give some really clear context and motivation by telling people what this jacket's good for. So they're really helping people to buy this in lots of different ways, and just adding it within this review area and pulling those key things out the review messages is really great to see, and it'd be good to see that more amongst other e-commerce websites. And then I can filter reviews, which is all great, and I can see that then once I go down here, these 5 little bars here match against this fit here, etc., etc. So that's all good to see. Then when I get down to the cross sales area, so I've got to the product, like down the bottom of the product page, maybe this isn't the product for me, maybe I want to look at other areas. So it's good to see cross sales. It allows users to discover more products. Maybe they'll flick through it and go, actually, no, this is the one I want. Or they might go to a product that's worth a little bit more, so you're kind of pushing them to higher priced products. This, however, this little plus button, it's a bit unconventional. It's good. I guess they're making use of most of the space. They don't want to crowd it, but you have got a bit of space here. The plus button doesn't really tell me what it does. I think it's an add to cart button. It could be an add to wish list. So suggest amending that to an add to basket button, or just remove it altogether and let people go and view the product. And then one final thing, weak email sign up call to action, email marketing, really powerful marketing tool. So to push people to sign up is really, really important. This just says newsletter sign up for exclusive offers, original stories, etc., etc. So something else that you don't have to offer a discount. You could offer something unique to your brand, but just offering something so that you get that exchange and they give you that email will really, really help to push that and build that email database. So, and then I get to the footer. This is all nice to see. These are all nice big buttons, really important things like returns, customer service, really nice to see. So yeah, a really great page, some small things that they could work on, but on the whole, a really strong example of an e-commerce product page. So I'm just going to skip into scoring. So the Patagonia product page has scored 4 out of 5. So a really, really high score, and one of the highest scores to date, I think, we've had in our UX reviews. And just to give that a bit more context, so under value, they score 5 out of 5, distraction 4 out of 5, and friction 3 out of 5. So if I was going to prioritize any area, just working on those points of friction and just working on improving some of those little areas will just help the whole thing. But all in all, a really good page. So in terms of key takeaways, so making that search box visible, that's one thing that will literally transform their sales. I can pretty much guarantee that. We've tried it on other sites and it works really, really well. Visual clarity and accessibility. So the visuals are really high quality. The product labeling is great. So that whole user experience, understanding that product and accessibility is really, really strong. Effortless navigation and decision making. So there's kind of breadcrumbs, really great to see because it helps people to understand where they are within the website. There's accessible sizing information, it not only accessible, it just makes it easy to understand which size I should pick. And also optimization for clarity and motivation. So one thing, like I said, getting that price placement by the button by the add to basket button, something to test. It might not work, but it usually does. And just pushing that email sign up call to action and making it a little bit stronger just enhances the clarity and will just mean you're going to engage more and get more emails. But yeah, that's it for this audit. Like I said, download link is in the description, and if you'd like to get your own audit done, just let us know. There's a link in the description too. And that's it. Well done, Patagonia.